What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 9 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Miao Ying Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, the Bastion threat has finally risen to 100% and the Kurgan Warband have appeared. Looks like, at least of those that we can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full stacks, plus there's a village stack running around as well, and who knows, there may be more of these armies waiting in the shadows. Pretty cool. I thought it would only be one army to start, but I'm excited about the fact that there are so many. It's, I think, a great thing then to never reduce the threat again, and from now on just let it rise, Slanesh giggle, so that we can get these rather fun fights. It gives us a reason to essentially put 3 different armies in the gates, and then periodically just have them for fight some fun fights and get some good cash out of it and XP and all that. I think it'll pay dividends, quite literally. And on top of that, if we use the reduction thing everywhere, this thing, the Bastion Overlook, those armies will be effectively free as well. So definitely something we're going to get to doing, though probably not before we start up on the Terracotta Automaton and Terracotta Sentinel army. Not in great numbers, at least the Sentinels as yet, but we'll get there, and the Terracotta Automatons are freely available to build as soon as we've thrown back the Kurgan. Anyway, in addition to that, we got Jiao Ming on field at last, and his, well, army such as it is, at least for now. Obviously, this is not the army that he's going to be using, but, well, we had to save the Gold Tooth faction as quickly as possible, or else the Legion of Asgore would have destroyed them. I'm actually quite curious about the fact that the Legion of Asgore went into the mountains to destroy Gold Tooth like this. I almost wonder whether it's related to the fact that we were on the other side, because I've literally never seen the Legion of Asgore do that before, and I've never played Cathay before, but I wonder if it's because of the anti-player bias to some degree. But anyway, I digress. In terms of what we got to do this particular turn, there isn't too much by the looks of it. I think I've moved pretty much everybody around. You're just waiting. I did, between the episodes, decide to take a look, as promised, at the cash that we had, the bonus 20k that we got from the Skull Island, and spent it by and large on upgrading the stuff in Pomei, a couple of main settlements, each of which cost like 3,000 or 4,000 gold, and then lastly to get a few upgrades going. These were all, I believe, peasants of various ranks before, but of higher ranks, so we upgraded them here, as Turtle Gate is going to need the additional defenses, much more so than Dragon Gate, but we're still on the approach with the rest of these peasants to Dragon Gate as well. And also, I just noticed, what about, is this army? Wait, let me just...
Battle is nigh.
Are you... yeah, we can attack you, okay. Auto-resolve it for obvious reasons, although perhaps I shouldn't have done... No, that's fine. And let's see, we got 700 gold out of it, slight damage on our Jade Warriors, but frankly, it's not enough for us to be concerned about. We have plenty of Jade Warriors in the gate, and it's the Grenadiers and the Iron Hail Gunners that we'd be concerned about. No level, unfortunately, but a free Silk Weaver and Fuheng Monk, and we killed in battle. Lovely. You have 3 points available to you. We could, while we're here, upgrade the Nan Gau Grenadiers and Iron Hail Gunners, and once again, because this guy has the Anathema trait, he'll be great for commanding a Sentinel army. And you know, I am thinking, you're not a hybrid lord, so you probably will have plenty of points available to you, so you would be good to command a, well, you're not a hybrid lord, but you can command a hybrid army in the sense of a bunch of different units mixed together. I'm not entirely sure which ones yet. Because this offers ward save, it might lean more towards melee. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, I guess we could at least for now spend it on Eastern Fires for the buffs here. Not that I've ever really seen the Nan Gau Grenadiers run out of ammunition, but, you know, help them out a little bit. There you go. And Leader of Men comes in at rank 8, and there's some good stuff in there as well. Alright, and good. You guys are stuck where you are. We got 2.2k. Ooh, there is one other thing that I did want to do. Miao Ying, at last. The Nan Gau Iron Sights and the Iron Hail Gunners. Huh, do they lose their names if I do this? Wait. Rain Gunners. No, you did not. Beautiful. And then you can become a Crane Gunner as well. Oh, they cost 600 to upgrade, not 400? Okay. And what about you? You cost 400. Alright, so we'll get you guys back into Iron Hail Gunner form. There we go. Now we have, what, 8 different gunpowder, well, 4 different types, but 8 gunpowder units, rep 2 of each kind, and the Eye of the Storm, of course, and the Sky Junk overhead. Looking pretty good. Pretty happy. Too bad we don't have a hero with any kind of gunpowder, you know, or any kind of honestly, I'm almost surprised that the alchemists don't buff the gunpowder units in any way. I think I remarked on this before, but I feel like if anybody should buff the units that rely on metallurgy of some kind, it should probably be the alchemists. But anyway, I digress. I wanted to do that. Garrison lore not moved on science skill points. Compass selection available. Not going to happen. And okay, the crane gunners cost a lot of money now, don't they? No, actually, comparatively no, because Miao Ying gets them cheap, and we are going to be using them in place of artillery in her army, because, you know, I don't want the entire army to do everything with artillery, especially since Zhao Ming will have artillery. And a decent amount of it as well. Anyway, while the turn is ending, we did make the engagement threshold, and so this will be an hour-long, hour-adjacent, hour-ish episode, and the engagement threshold remains 400 likes and 60 comments, and the next episode will be an hour-long as well. Death Cheater... oh, Death Toll. I still don't care about this little ogre faction, though if Goldtooth dies, we... oh, I wasn't expecting that. The lizards are gonna attack me. Oh, thank you, lizards. I was expecting Kurgan here. Valiant defeat, really. I don't see that being the case, but I'm willing to be surprised and impressed, lizards. Here we go. Oh, this is gonna be great. I was I was absolutely not banking on this, and we get to try the crane gunners immediately. Beautiful. Go.
Again. This the Storm Dragon swears.
Alrighty, unless your souls are eaten by chaos, then not so good. Anyway, here we go, big old pile of lizards in a rather nice map. It's still very visible despite being a night map, and that's always a good thing. I'm gonna have to check out our crane gunners on this battle map, which should be pretty interesting, as they're probably going to have to engage in a shootout with the enemy Bastillodons with solar engines. And as to how that's gonna go, well, that remains to be seen. I do believe the debuff from the Basties is pretty severe against range units. Let's just see here. It is... oh. Actually, it isn't. Never mind. I thought that they use blind. Okay, that actually makes sense, but minus 15 isn't all that bad. At least I don't think so. Anyway, we're going to start the battle up by annoying the enemy as we get into position, essentially leaving a nice firing line through these trees for the enemy to approach down into, while we wait for the reinforcements, such as they are, to arrive, and bombard the enemy with our Sky Junk / Eye of the Storm. I'm going to do a little bit of damage, but overall probably not that much, and frankly, maybe I should have... or generally speaking, maybe I shouldn't keep firing it when it's the only one, as it really doesn't have much ammunition. Maybe if we find that armor piece that allows you to replenish ammunition, that would be really nice in this particular army, since we only have that one Sky Junk. Anyway, for now, I'm going to move our crane gunners forward with the idea of trying to target some of the enemy Basties. If we can actually get them in range and not take too much damage from the solar engines. There we go. First volley away, second volley about to follow. I don't think those shields are going to stop a solar engine blast, I'll tell you that much. Oh, come on, you guys are... there we go. There we go, that's what I wanted to see, and they're going to start off on one enemy solar engine, about 3 volleys, 2 from one and then 1 from the other. Will take about 30% of its HP, but the enemy will fire back, and by the looks of it, a single blast from the solar engine will take fairly significant, or do significant amounts of damage here, and we probably don't want to continue this. Not so much because we can't win a shootout against 2, but because we can't win a shootout against 4, as 2 more solar engines have arrived, and we really don't want to be taking shots from 4 of them. This does mean taking a few shots to the back, but it is what it is. Looks like, yeah, 4 units lost per hit, which ain't great. But hey, I like the fact that we don't destroy the enemy with something like a Grand Cannon all the way from the other side of the map, as this will mean a little bit of a shootout for us, which is a good thing. I guess the Skyjunk's gonna hit these guys as well. Ooh, this might be an ideal time to put poison on the Skyjunk, or at least to get that poison ability on our Alchemist, which would allow the Skyjunk to essentially slow both of these units down. Certainly something to think about. Like this, it doesn't do too much other than set the enemy on fire. And ooh, 2 solar engine hits right into the middle of the Iron Hail Gunners, taking nearly 50% of their HP. Pretty solid. But our Crane Gunners have moved back into position now and are ready to fire away at the 2, as the other 2 are still too far back. This one drops down to half HP. They'll fire back once again, but every volley of the Crane Gunners will bring them down lower. There we go, let's see how many shots they can get up. They still have plenty of ammunition, and frankly, if it's gonna take so long to bring one down, we'll just have Miao Ying move in to bring down the other while the crane guns do the first. Alrighty, and frankly, we can just distract the 2, as that's enough of that. There we go, stops Rampage cold-blooded, brought down by the crane guns. Yeah, I think if we want to use the crane gunners as artillery, or in place of artillery, we're gonna need a 3rd one at least, so that they can focus down things like this. I mean, it's not... Oh wow, did it just hit itself, one of its own solar engines, rather? Yeah, we need to be able to essentially win a shootout against sort of artillery monsters. The crane guns could probably win a shootout against artillery rather quickly because artillery crews are fairly fragile, and frankly, our Skyjunk would probably be able to do that. And yes, I should have told the Skyjunk to not fire at these guys, but it's all good. Anyway, the second Bastille falls, and the enemy is now down to 2 of the solar engines, and it's time to start backing off while gunning down at least a few of the enemies. Still have a little bit of ammunition on the Skyjunk, but not over much, and these guys are going to move on in and try to get a few volleys into the other 2 solar engines, which are currently trying to fire at Miao Ying. Alright, just get a few shots in before the enemy main stack arrives and starts annoying us. Miao Ying is going to go for these solar engines, as we don't want them firing into our blob of units. Yeah, 4 solar engines. Obviously, that's pretty solid. Fortunately for us, the rest of the enemy army will now move in, leaving the solar engines relatively unprotected, and the rest of our army should be able to take care of the blob of lizards without too much issue. The Grace of Trajan will be the first units to fire. At some skin cohorts might be a little bit of a waste, as they're better off targeting dinos or something big, but that's alright. There is plenty more quarrels where that came from. And there we go. And the lizards will have to certainly run the gauntlet here. There we go, Iron Hail Gunners now firing away, and soon the enemy will be in range of the Nan Gau Grenadiers as well. It's a heck of a hill to attempt to move through. Alright, beautiful. Does look like the solar engines, or at least one of them, is firing back, but our crane guns are in range of them as well. Our crossbows are trying to fire upon the enemy single entities, while our Iron Hail Gunners and our Grenadiers are clearing out the mobs of lizards lest they approach. Bastille goes down. There's still Croxagores and another Bastille over here. And even more Croxagores. And a nice wall of wind and fire will move through the enemy as they try to rush us, which actually worked out pretty well. Damn, I love this spell. The area denial alone is just so valuable. And it does look like the units of Jade Warriors, together with some of our Celestial Dragon crossbows, are going to have to act as melee here, but we certainly expected that. Otherwise, one of our units of our units of Crane Gunners have killed off the 1 solar engine, while Miao Ying has pretty much defeated the 2nd. And we'll soon be able to return to the rest of our army. Nice. Alright, still holding the enemy back with the extremely limited number of melee units that we have here, but it does seem to be working reasonably well. Once again, because the auto-resolve is kind of screwy with trying to kill off those melee units, we're definitely going to get rid of them rather soon. But also, once again, I do think that the Celestial Dragon crossbows can function as melee perfectly well. We've used them as melee defenders before, and frankly, they are perfectly situated to do so. For example, these ones, especially with Bastions of the Great Cities, 120 armor and 54 melee defense, and that's a debuffed melee defense because of their tiredness as well. That's pretty darn solid. Good luck to any non-elite infantry breaching those lines of crossbows. And even if they do, the armor means that the Nan Gau Grenadiers can fire upon the enemy without damaging our own units too much, and the Dragon Breakers can significantly reduce the melee capabilities, minus 40% of any other enemy units that are blobbed up in attempting to fight the crossbows, which means it'll work out pretty well. Anyway, the enemy lords are pretty much the last things that are still fighting. The bounce barrel's at about 90%. Miao Ying has found the one lord and gotten him down to about half HP, even though she's a little bit damaged. It was mostly from skink skirmishers, or basically enemy range units, firing at her while she was taking care of those two basties with solar engines. Otherwise, it looks like the enemy lords will shatter, and with that, the battle will be ours. Gonna get a few parting shots into the enemy. There we go, grenades and iron hail and quarrels, though I do believe we are, let's see, running out of ammunition on, well, still got a little bit at least on the crossbows. Still plenty on the grenades and the iron hail gunners, which seem to be a lot less likely to run out of ammo. Anyway, enemy lord attempting to run away, and it looks like because it's a foot lord, they can get staggered by the explosions of the explosions of the grenades. Can't even see the enemy lord, but they're in there, though I'd wager they won't be in there for too much longer. The invincibility frames of them being knocked about is the only thing that was keeping them alive as they get finally torn apart. Lovely. Alright. Now it went decently well, and we'll take a few extra seconds to heal up our 3 single entities. Alright, there we go. A really fun fight with all of those dinos heading towards us. Good job to the enemy basties with solar engines, and the enemy having 4 of them were able to hit back against our crane gunners pretty darn well, as their range is roughly even. Did get 19k damage and 14k damage on the crane gunners for their debut, which is pretty solid. Lots and lots of damage on our Celestial Dragon crossbows, who, on the right flank at least, were actually charged by the enemy, but actually took less damage than the Jade Warriors did, which is a good sign for using them later on as a sort of melee replacement for this particular army. Otherwise, we got decent damage on the Iron Hail Gunners, a little bit on the City Suppression Force and the other Dragon Breakers, but they once again serve their purpose in slowing everybody down. Now, we are in enemy territory, so I guess we should probably heal, because we won't be healing over the end turn. Though it hurts to lose the 2.2k at this point in time, but it is what it is. Alright, what do we get here? An Alchemist Flask. Okay, I was trying to read that. As Supervisor, Reptilian Ravager, enemy killed in battle, and we did not get attacked. Oh, I guess they're attacking this turn. Oh, because I guess the first turn they appear, they can't move, which I guess also makes sense. Fair enough. What does this do? Oh, Rebound Transmutation of Lead. We'll take it. Probably a good thing to have in this particular army, as it... Oh, more of these plagues. Probably a good thing to have in this army as, well, if the enemy makes contact with us in melee with our range army, it's going to be a lot more dangerous. Alright, so I take it that means these guys are now attacking next turn. Which, again, fair enough. You...
My ancestors require it.
We'll trade some units here. Let's say 4, and then as many of the range units as you can handle, which is all of them. Alright, and then, oh. I was about to say, maybe, well, no, you can lead for now. We could have probably had you deal with that, but that's fine. You have the recruitment building, right? Yeah, you do. Which is great, because you can then, well, not this turn, but next turn, build some more peasants. We could upgrade the gates, but nothing will finish by the end of the next turn anyway, and... Huh? Wait, what? Are you telling me that the Celestial Tower can be switched to a Bastion siege works? That's kind of weird. Not something I was expecting, but interesting. Celestial Artisan, they're different types of structures. Not that it's important, mind you. Anyway, the rest of that looks good to me. Anyway, Miao Ying. These armies are not quite destroyed, but they are more or less gone. We should... Ooh, yes, wait. Move up and then leech XP with the rest of you. Yeah, you have to stand march stance, but that's fine.
Sent by our ancestors.
And I'm just going to be hopeful that we can wipe these guys out. Oh, it might kill off the Jade Warriors. Distinct likelihood, I would say. And let's give it a shot. And no, it won't. Lovely. Well, I mean, I guess half of the enemy armies were destroyed, and then the remaining units are pretty badly damaged out of resolve. Let's see what that does to our HP. Ah, pretty okay. And this time maybe we'll take the... Oh, I was about to say take the money, but only 900. Then we do have to probably auto-resolve the next territory as well. Can we reach this? Yes, we can. Alright, go to Shiwu. Scroll of Power will turn that into something useful. We'll have the other two Leech XP once again, both in March stance again. Like so, and oh, you can't reach it? Well, that's fine. You can't reach it to leech it. Yeah. I'm probably gonna have to fight this manually, probably real quick, although I assume this is a minor settlement battle, isn't it? It is. But nonetheless, anyway, Lucky Arrow, there's that little annoying Warherd of the One Eye, and oh, while we're here, we can steal some tech. Should really probably stop stealing tech from these guys, because they're really gonna hate us, even if we do peace out with them. 94, damn. Arlington has plenty of cash as well. How many turns do you have of this? How many turns left? 3 turns. You could take the time to move down to Hidden Land. Oh, actually, you can't. Well, you could move down to Mountain Pass. Might still be worth it if we intend to keep these guys around as a minor faction. Maybe we'll do that. And you know, I was originally planning to send Zhu Zhao down southward and start conquering these territories, but maybe we actually want to wait, as this might be a good time to sort of consolidate in Cathay and then do that thing that we did a couple of episodes ago where we spent like 10 turns moving forward. This will allow us to fix our economy and then get new armies on the field, like the Terracotta Automaton army and several other armies as well. Jiao Ming also needs his army fixed up. I think that's the best way to do it. I guess if we do that, then we want to basically stay out of the way of the Xinchen faction, or else we'll have to come down here, as they'll most likely declare war on us, I would imagine. Especially since we're friendly with the faction they're currently fighting. So just stay away from them, at least for now, and then we'll move you back northward and help out against the Jiangxi rebels. You can sail down the river to get to them as well, which will work out nicely. Yeah, especially since Zhao Ming, who was going to do it, is a little busy right now. Anyway, that's Miao Ying, who will attack shortly. Administrator, we may have to move you, that we have to figure out what it is exactly that we have to build and where it is. There is some important stuff that we want to construct at Wei Jin. Wait, are you all at tier 4? Yeah, you could upgrade the Bastion Feast Call. It's not super critical, though. This is pretty critical, but oh, actually, that reminds me. Can we take a look at the Gate Masters? We still have the fiery one, and I do like that. I wish I get you on field before you disappear. I wish you weren't so expensive to recruit, but at least you're not expensive to upkeep, so we'll get you. Watchman, Architect, I did want another Astromancer, and that does mean stealing more tech. I take it we can't do Astromancers here now. We need somewhere... Wait, can we do Astromancers here? We can. Alright, that's probably better. Oh, no, we can't. We have to recruit them here at Kunlun, or this province in general, because it recruits them at a higher rank. Alright, fair enough. We'll do this one, the Architect one, I guess, for the construction cost reduction. Might help a teensy bit as we move southward. Let's get you on field, Architect. Alright, and immediately we'll get you Specialist through to We Are the Elite through to Blessing of Knowledge for that hero action success chance and 1 point in Steel Tech. Also, since this is our first Celestial Defender, I want to take a look at what they can do. Okay, so we have to choose between Master of Light and Master of Darkness. Oh, I see, yin and yang thing. Well, obviously for the Terracotta Warrior Army, or Terracotta generally army, we'll have to go Masters of Light. Several of them, in fact. Because they'll give buffs to those units. Yeah. Ah, although it's melee attack. Well, actually, no, that's better, because these guys have very high melee defense, very low melee attack. We'll have to just figure out how many of these we want. Always Training gives them weapon strength and armor-piercing damage. At the cost of... Oh, Master of Darkness is kind of mad by comparison. Fear the Bastion Defenders. Affects units of constructs, melee attack plus 8. Yeah, that does make sense. And... oh, they count as both the yin and yang unit for activating battle harmony as well, which is nice. Bulwark of the Bastion gives us melee defense plus 8. Oh, maybe we could do 3 Celestial Defenders. One with light, just to be in the sort of center with the extra melee defense and mass, although it isn't all that crazy anyway. We need these guys for restore, that is absolutely the case. And oh, they have Jade Longma as their mounts. That's kind of interesting. And we could have one Celestial Defender up in the sky with the Sky Junks. That would give them missile resistance as well, as in for the flying army, and riding a Jade Longma. That's interesting, though. I like that. That'll work for several armies. Let's see what else we have going here. Melee damage when defending. Otherwise, you guys seem to be decent fighters as well. Pretty interesting. Alright. Excited to use more of those heroes as well. Looks like we'll need plenty of capacities. We should also take a look at the Gate Masters while we're at it, and the Alchemists. Swift and Baleful. Not super happy about either of those. What about Alchemists? Where can we build them? I think there is the option at Kunlun. Nope. Should build one here. No? Where the heck can we build Alchemists? Okay, here, we got Metallurgist. I do really like that targeting range increase for spells and metallurgy abilities. This is cooldown for Plague of Rust and Transmutation of Lead. This is free Glittering Scales and cooldown for Glittering Robe. That's pretty nice as well. Damn, there's some good alchemists. The main issue with this is going to take all our money, and we need some of it to transform these units into non-peasant units, because presumably we'll get hit by, at minimum, 3 armies, possibly 4, depending on where this one goes. And that's a lot. But it'll be fun. Yeah, we'll upgrade these in a second. Let's move everybody else around and see how much money we have remaining afterwards. I don't want to jump the gun. You are still here and still waiting. You'll destroy those... Oh, poor little Nobbler army. Oh, and the rebels are ogres, despite this being Chaotic Wasteland, so they're suffering from attrition. Too bad for them. Ningwei, you are going to stay here. In fact, you're going to sit here and channel. And you're going to protect the Veil of Titans. While Jiao Ming, you are going to march stance southward as close to Amble Peak as you can in order to try to move towards it. And these guys probably have a lot more armies running around since their armies should be pretty cheap. Why the heck did his... What the heck is this? I didn't do that, it did it by itself. And why can it go around like this and I keep losing control of Jiao Ming? It feels appropriate, but it's so strange. Anyway, we should still steal tech. That hasn't changed. And what are you again? Foolhardy Alchemist. Ah, yes, with Frenzy. Okay, so you're going south. We got you on the field to get Frenzy to the defenders of the Jade Warrior army. That makes sense. Alright. Anybody else? Scout is still going through the sea lane to try to find Yuan Bo, and I believe that's it. Meaning we don't have a lot of other ways to get more money right now, other than potentially Diplo and for that little attack with Miao Ying. Non-aggression pact with Border Princes this time. Oh, wait, they're trading with Scrag now. Well, at least that won't piss them off. I guess we could do it. It's not like we care about pissing off the clan Squire Skaven, though we're not giving you money. It's not like we're going to move out here and destroy them. They're kind of too far from us and out of our concern. This we can ignore. These guys want to confederate, but we're not doing that right now. It has to stop sometime. The rest of this, I guess, is good. All right, no free cash out of any of that, unfortunately, but I'm sure we'll have plenty out of the attack from the Kurgan. All right, before we can end the turn, we got to do this little fight, I guess, at Shiwu, so I guess that hasn't changed, and I just realized... I'm hoping that... Uh-oh. Because if these guys declare war on us, they might be able to kill Yuan Shanfu. Well, you know what? We'll move you to help her. Saiger would be a problem. But otherwise, Gores and Ungores, depending on who gets attacked, we might have enough mana to kill them. We'll see, I guess. Either way, we still have to attack this. So we'll do this manually real quick. Or should we do it cinematically? I mean... Smaller fight. Manually. We got the Kurgan fights to fight. Oh, actually, that's gonna be a question, because the Kurgan fights might not work as cinematic battles depending on how they work. We'll see. I didn't see what the Bastion does for towers, because if they're higher level towers, then it'll be then the cinematics for those will be broken. But I guess some people do like the cinematic or the sort of manually controlled battles as well, so in that sense we might be able to do a mix of them up north in the around the Bastion. Also, what the heck is this at the bottom right of the map? Maybe a structure? Palace? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it's a structure. with some water. Oh, it's a dam. Okay, okay. That's a pretty neat looking dam at that. I like it. Anyway, let's do this real quick. Start deployment, and I guess we're gonna deploy here. Do we want to deploy at the center instead? Enemy towers will be more freely able to fire upon us here, but we'll have a more wide area to attack, so I think we'll do that. Let's do... Okay, actually I did that backwards. Let's do... Actually, no, you know what? Do this. We'll just sort of march forward. I like this, and then you two behind them, and then the Grand Grenadiers behind you. Frankly, that probably should have been the other way around. Like you. And like you. Alright, and then the crane gunners, you can all... I don't know, I guess sit back here, it doesn't really matter. You guys. Crane gunners we can use to attack the enemy towers pretty much immediately. Like so, like so. You can attack towers as well, and we will also want the war drum. So, like so. Miao Ying in front. And did I forget anybody? I don't think I did. We got our reinforcements coming in, but frankly, we probably won't need the one lord. Turn off skirmish mode. Slightly move forward. And you can turn on magical attacks. That was this one, right? Yeah, alright. Where are the enemy towers? There is one right there, or at least there should be. There we go. You, and have the crane gunners attack it as well. Then Miao Ying, you can march forward, and... the rest of the army, other than the crane gunners and basically the things attacking the tower, can move forward. Like... so, oh wow, that was perfect. They can exactly go up the ramp. Frankly, that worked better than I thought it would. Anyway, how's that tower looking? I'm gonna take a little bit of a while to bring down, but that's all good. Alchemist, you want to move forward and get Gehenna's Golden Hounds down upon the blob of enemies down there. Although I suppose we can use it to area deny if the enemy starts heading down the ramp. Definitely a good option as well. Anyway, let's speed this up a little bit. And tower goes down. Beautiful. Rest of you are moving on in, and crane gunners continue firing away. I just like listening to them fire. Anyway, once again, really like the Cathay gunpowder units and artillery sound design. Pretty good. Anyway, Saurus Warriors shields are pretty much done for. Yeah, they're not reaching our lines, at least I don't think. Oh, that one nearly did. This one, nope, no dice. I mean, it's only one unit. That was always going to end poorly for them, though they're still fighting with like 50% of their HP remaining. Anyway, you guys can move up here now. Slowly advance. There's another unit moving forward. Miao Ying and Alchemist go forward, and then we will move the Iron Hail Gunners forward as well. It does look like some Croxagores are charging, so we'll have to be careful about them. I'll leave the crossbows where they are, I suppose, because they can still attack. And Miao Ying might be able to move forward and transform. You move forward. Anybody else? Can we move you to intercept? Unless the Croxagores don't bother actually moving forward. We'll see about that. You charge. Miao Ying, slow them down with a Storm of Shadows. And our reinforcements are here. Go here. Help out, maybe. Alright, and back the Alchemist up before she takes damage. I'm sorry, Alchemist. Let's heal you up real quick. And then back Miao Ying off as well. I only intended to countercharge for a second, but it actually wasn't needed because Storm of Shadows plus the Tear Gas moves the Croxagores down to 8 movement speed, meaning they would have been too slow to close the distance with our units anyway. Crossbows, forward. And systematically continue moving up. Like so. Like so. Like so. Like... I don't know. Like so. And then like so. Good. And Miao Ying, you could probably transform. Go find the enemy lord and kill him. Alright, that should bring down the platform. Beautiful, beautiful. Feels mean, but what can you do? Okay, I'm not going to keep paying attention to you guys as much, so let's do this. And move you in. Crossbows and Sky Junk. Get ready to hover overhead, get bonuses on everybody, and then Crane Gunners, I guess you can move in as well, at least a little bit closer. Alright, anybody else still in the fight? Where's the enemy lord? Do they even have a lord? Oh, I see a big dino over there. I think maybe we can speed this up a little bit now. The army should be able to more or less take care of itself. Hey, the big dino's going to try to attack our second lord here. Let's have them both move together. Alright, and back to max speed. Crane gunner is probably not firing away at anything, and okay, what is this? Is this a skin cohort? Alright, fine. Let's do... There we go, not bad. Miao Ying, you take care of the big boy there, and do we need to use the wall of wind and fire? I mean, that's cheap, might as well do it. Faster to clear out the enemy. And, ooh, hello, enemy actually moving on in. Let's drop a Searing Doom and down upon them. And, oh, Sky Junk, why? Why you do this? Oh, it basically severely damaged one of our units of Jade Warriors. Oh well, you can move forward and go for the Potion of Strength as well. It's what I get for not paying attention. I deserve it. Oh wow, look at our crossbows. Notice how they are running out of ammunition even in one of these little minor battles? I do notice that they do seem to run out of ammunition in pretty much every fight. I wonder if it's a matter of needing upgrades or if it's a matter of Cathay units just generally having lower ammunition. Kind of curious. Either way, you guys go forward. You guys go forward. And of course they're running through our army again. I feel like I've been noticing the AI do that a lot more lately than I feel like it did before. It would occasionally run through your army when it retreated, but it feels like it's doing it much more. Anyway, the big boy is about to fall. Miao Ying has the poor stag backed up into a corner. Hopefully she doesn't move into the structure there, as that would make her stuck. But we're okay. Step Dragon, I'm stuck. Anyway, let's keep moving. You guys are now firing upon those units of javelins, but they can't fire back. Poor little guys. Let me drop a spell on these guys up here. Do it. And then you can... Oh. Let's do one of these. There we go, and Miao Ying, you can... Well, no need to transform. Debuff the enemy over here. Nice that you have the ability to do so now. Anyway, anybody else still fighting? Let's back these guys up. I don't so much care about the damage to the Jade Warriors because they're not staying in this army. And I'm honestly shocked that the enemy army has not shattered yet. Alright, let's get the Crane Gunners in here. I keep expecting the enemy to actually, you know, charge us, but they're just not doing it. Whoa, 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 what is out here? Oh, okay, you know what, just make sure that that unit doesn't come back. I got a little bit concerned that the isolated units of Crane Gunners will get charged. You know what, let's do this. Just faster. Ooh, wait. Let's wait until this unit gets to us. Let's speed it up. Nice little bit of XP on these guys as well. And now, do Well Wind and Fire. Right through the blob. And those poor skinks will get burninated and destroyed real quick. There we go. Not so much the Saurus, but I would imagine Miao Ying can stand against the Saurus. Ooh, I like her weaving in and out of the wall of wind and fire there. Alright, how's the rest of the fight? Stop paying attention a little bit ago. It looks like this unit will need to rout shortly. Let's drop another Searing Doom upon it, and I think the enemy army will shatter as soon as we got proximity, so let's just do that. You wanna maybe... Yeah, do this. Didn't want to wait for the cooldown on Searing Doom. Alright, Miao Ying has had you shatter. Who's still on field? This unit. Alright, fine, fair enough. Skyjunk, go close. Somebody get closer. And do any... Okay, a couple of our crossbows still have ammunition. Go here, maybe they can fire if they're close enough. I'm not entirely sure. These guys will shatter as soon as we get there. Maybe drop a spell upon them. Do you have range to do so? Come on. Come on. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, they'll even get a volley on our Skyjunk. That is tremendously rude. And we'll probably hit the Skyjunk a few times ourselves, but that's all good. Looks like we're done. Alright. 56 losses, probably if I had not done it at max speed at some point, we probably could have reduced that to 0, but you know, it's in one of these little tiny fights, and since we're capturing the location, we should be able to heal up just fine. And that completes the province. Now we really need to prioritize upgrading it in order to get maxed out growth, because the +5 control offered by the Elite Temple will give us so much value. Not a lot of money out of that. Occupy. Alright, and A, the Dune Dragon's unlocked. I guess that's going to go for Zhao Ming. Yes, they're going to go to Zhao Ming. You can switch to the Iron Dragon's Edict until the Elite Temple is up and running. We should also probably get the trade goods up and running. In theory. In practice, maybe not. Wait, go for the Jade Dragon's Edict first, because it'll give us a construction time reduction, which we will want on the village here as well. The other thing we want to do is these guys now have 2 territories remaining, meaning we now peace out with them, and we could do the Defensive Alliance, just to keep them around, because I feel bad about all this. And now we're no longer competing for territory, just have them, you know, sit here in this nice little enclave. Although, wait, can we even borrow any units from them? I'm not entirely sure. Huh. We could do the non-aggression pact, and you know what? Do the peace treaty and this stuff, but don't do the alliance yet. I feel like we could get the alliance. They'll probably pay for the alliance later on once they like us. Or actually, they might not, depending on how much they hate us. Well, I guess we'll figure it out. Anyway, do this for now. Yes. Alrighty, and we're moving up to +3, so it should fix itself, and... Huh. You know what I shouldn't have done? I shouldn't have done the non-aggression. No, I probably should have still done it, because we should still be able to get a trade agreement going with them. It says the faction cannot trade, and I feel like it's always done that, but the faction, I guess, could always trade, because I feel like I've been able to trade with them in the past. Anyway, that gave us a decent bit of cash, so we should use it. You guys are only upgradable to... Let me just see here. Yeah, you've reached enough XP, and frankly, we probably should only upgrade you to Jade Warriors, because, well, there's no nothing else that you can upgrade in terms of the tree. You'll be really cheap here, 50 gold. Now, let's see what we got here. For these guys, the higher ranked ones should be ones that probably move to one of the gun versions, because they can then be upgraded to the crane gunners. And the crane gunners can be upgraded into artillery, they can be upgraded into sky junk. We can't upgrade to these guys directly, but yeah, alright, fine. Let's do 4 Iron Hail Gunners, and then 4 Nan Gau Grenadiers, and then I guess we could do 5 crossbows, although, let's see, 1, 2, 3... There's a lot of units that these guys could upgrade into. Though at the same time, the likelihood of actually getting them enough XP to do it might be of some issue. Just do the Jade Warrior crossbows for now. Yeah. Alright, good enough. And, oh, these 3 can't be upgraded to Jade Warrior crossbows. Probably should have done that the other way around. And while that did cost us a lot of money, we can still see that this army basically costs nothing because it's in the Great Bastion. But, yeah, they'll be able to defend just fine. Wait, so none of them can be upgraded to crossbows? Alright, just leave them as they are. We'll upgrade them probably to more of these guys, but I'll think about it. Or we could do it right now, because they'll get more XP. Yeah, fine. Let's get 2 more Grenadiers. I figure the Grenadiers will be really nice on the walls, because enemies will blob up as they head towards them, and some Iron Hail Gunners. Beautiful. Alright, that'll be good enough for the defense. I do want to get some upgrades going with Administrator here. We probably could move back. What do we have at Turtle Gate again? Oh, the same thing, eh? We also really need to start upgrading Wei Jin, try to get to that Celestial Court and the control and the bonuses as fast as possible. But I wanted this guy to recruit at Dragon Gate, so maybe stick around here. It's not ultra critical. We could upgrade these, but they're kind of expensive for what they offer. Let's go to Turtle Gate. It'll be up to tier 4 shortly as well. And then, I'll just upgrade this. And then move back. And then I'm hoping that we can reach Dragon Gate right after and then start recruiting those Terracotta automatons. Anyway, skip unassigned skill points, building upgrades, outpost available, compass, direction, and the turn. And I presume that these guys will attack us. Do we need to give these guys items? I'm too lazy, just go. I'm sure they'll be fine. Watch me bite those words. And oh damn, I forgot the hero for Miao Ying. Fortunately though, he did still move a fairly decent amount, so he's still okay. Definitely want to put some of those compasses in an army as well. They might work nicely with Zhao Ming in particular because he has, he's going to have a big old melee line. Though on the other hand, they could go with another army while Zhao Ming tries to get those ogres of his. Anyway, you want us the defensive alliance? No, there's no need. We're busy. Certainly don't need to be fighting your foes while we are contending with what we've got up here. And there we go. The enemy will indeed attack us. And this is at Dragon Gate. They will attack us with 1, 2, 3 full stacks. Pyrrhic victory, apparently. Should be pretty fun. As to whether this will work cinematically, I'm not entirely sure, but I will. will, definitely give it a try. Away we go.
'Cause I will not stand by idly. 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 'Cause I will not
rejoice, for we have courage stronger even than the Great Bastion!
Alrighty, here we go. 3 full stacks of Kurgan attempt to breach the Bastion, and I'm really hopeful that we can get a full-on cinematic battle here, as, well, it's so rare to get a big old defensive battle like this that I definitely want to enjoy it. Anyway, the entirety of our walls are covered in units, grenadiers, crossbows, and the Iron Hail gunners all working together to gun down any units that try to approach the walls, and of course the towers hit the enemy back with those. Are these guys firing rocket towers? Or are those the towers back there? I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll see in a bit. Either way, the enemy is on the approach, but the closer they get, the more Iron Hail gunners and grenadiers can fire down upon them. And we'll see how effective that is. Alright, there we go. We do also have the towers that we built that are not... They really need to add the models for those, but anyway. They are definitely firing fire rain rockets. Norskins are setting up the ladders to start climbing those walls, but we're still looking pretty okay, as this first army is in pretty darn bad shape. And I'm willing to bet that this is a desynced battle, but that might not matter too much here. Over the course of, having experienced many desynced battles where the cinematic replay doesn't work properly, I have learned how to ameliorate the issues, or at least lessen the issues. Essentially, you play without giving any direct orders to your units, or specifically not giving any direct orders to attack enemies, and thus only moving with ground. As long as the enemy, or as long as your units are still willing to fire at will, and the fire at will bug doesn't screw them, they should still be fighting just fine, even if it's desynced. In theory. In practice, it doesn't always work because, for example, you can't use spells because units will still move out of position and all of that. Once again, playing without orders, but at least it is a lot easier to do so when you've got a pile of range units on top of the Great Bastion. Anyway, the bounce power remains about 50-50 as the 2 reinforcing stacks make their way onto the battlefield. Looks like some Celestial Dragon crossbows are facing off against some Marauder Berserkers, though that's a fairly decently in our favor, let's say. Certainly, the Celestial Dragon crossbows don't have a lot of melee attack, but fortunately, the Berserkers barely have any melee defense. And if they should establish a sufficient beachhead up here, we do have the fire rain rocket towers who can fire down upon them. But clearly, they're taking out those Berserkers that are attempting to climb just fine. Oh, and I love this view. It's, once again, it's so rare to get these siege battles with the walls, with everything going, with the enemy horribly outnumbering you. It makes it feel like the Bastion and the sort of attacks here such a great feature, as otherwise you wouldn't get to experience all of this, generally speaking, a lot. Anyway, the other stacks are starting to close. First, the crossbows will begin firing down upon them, followed by the Iron Hail gunners, and as they draw even closer, the grenades will start coming down as well. Oh, look at those shotgun blasts from the Iron Hail gunners. Fantastic. And those poor Norskins. I mean, it absolutely should be extremely tough to breach the Bastion. Especially outside of early game, like we saw. Anyway, enemies still very slowly now attempting to move towards us. They are suppressed after all. Huh. And I just had a realization. We could put some dragon breakers up on top of the walls as well, which would be able to fire those super slowing grenades. That, if combined with a suppression from our towers, might actually slow enemies down to 0, or at least close to 0 movement range, which might be pretty darn interesting. Gotta remember that. And ooh, looks like some Marauder champions have made their way up the walls and are facing off once again against our Celestial Dragon crossbows. It looks like the crossbows were well positioned as they have been able to fight off enemy melee that have been climbing the walls. The enemy has, however, reached one of our gates and moved a mammoth in, but fortunately we have 2 units of Celestial Dragon Guard here and more Jade Warriors with halberds waiting. So even if the enemy does make their way through, they'll have a lot of armor that they have to get through. And the Kurgan are still coming, Slaneshi Giggle, though the balance of power remains at about 50%. They will slowly but surely start to lose the critical mass of units they need to actually make any kind of breach count. They certainly haven't established a proper beachhead up on the walls, and are pretty much relegated to attempt to breaching the actual gates and not taking the walls themselves, which I don't think is going to go so well. I do feel like the garrison should have a couple sky junks or even a couple sky lanterns with it, just because it looks really cool when they sort of float overhead, so we'll probably build some in the Great Bastion garrison armies, because they'll look cool when defending. And that's more than enough for me, plus the missile resistance on our other troops. Anyway, the enemy is moving through the one breached gate at the current time that Mammoth managed to bring down, and the rest are still attempting to make their way towards the walls with those ladders of theirs, but continuing to take just so many shots from our Iron Hail gunners and crossbows. That said, several of the crossbows at this point have run out of ammunition. I've said it before, but it feels like Cathay and crossbows are relatively light out on ammo, which is quite interesting. Maybe we need some upgrades, or it's a matter of having the red line to buff them. I haven't checked whether that increases their ammunition or not, but, well, it's certainly something we'll see at some point. Anyway, just keep on firing. There we go. I love those shotgun blasts from the Iron Hail gunners. And I mean, the closer you approach, the more shotgun blasts to the face you take. Probably not such a great time to attempt to rush towards and then up a ladder, towards a wall and up a ladder when, you know, thousands of shotgunners are blasting away at you. Alright, and how are we doing here? The balance power has finally started to shift in our favor, though two of the enemy lords and a bunch of marauders have arrived now, and it's up to the units of Celestial Dragon Warriors and Jade Warriors to hold ground. Our lord is sort of near here, but is a magistrate, and so we're not going to send him into melee, because he's just plain not going to be capable of defeating enemy marauder chieftains or the mammoth in melee. Has a war shrine as well, so it's providing a few buffs to these units. Out there, however, any enemy units that are still fighting are having a pretty bad day. A big old blob of units outside the gate, but that's a pretty good opportunity for our grenadiers to fire down upon them. Though, well, that's quite interesting. They fire on an angle, but fire into their own walls and... Okay, come on. They fire into their own walls and then cause explosions, which send at least some of their own units tumbling off the walls and destroying them. This unit has basically only damaged itself, and none of this damage is from the enemy. On top of that, the grenades that hit the towers damage the towers, and quite a bit at that. None of our other towers are really damaged. Quite interesting. Gonna have to be careful with our positioning of the grenade units on top of the walls. Maybe lower their... Oh, wow. Just knocked like a dozen units, or at least half a dozen units off of that wall. Yeah, maybe gonna have to be careful about the way that we position them up there. Not that it's a huge deal by the looks of it. The enemy Mammoth is pretty low in HP. Both of the enemy Marauder Chieftains, or Mammoth, both of the enemy Marauder Chieftains are down to 20-25%, and by the looks of it have realized that they will not breach the Celestial Dragon Guard's lines any more than they were able to breach the Bastion, and will be brought down. Will be brought down. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, and we had plenty more in us in this particular battle. Well, maybe not so much in the way of ammunition. Look at that. Iron Hail Gunners completely out. Another Iron Hail Gunners crossbows out. These guys are nearly out here. Yeah, so clearly, judging by what happened here, the enemy was one stack short. If they had 4 instead of 3, we would not have been able to muster enough ammunition to see them off, and would have had to turn into melee and possibly even retreated out here. Speaking of retreating, we sent several of our units that had no ammunition back. I think we have no, I gotta double check. We don't have any ammunition refilling buildings, do we? Like, if you go there, you refill ammunition? I know that it's actually silly that we wouldn't have those in the Great Bastion, right? Like, you would think that this location would have plenty of ammo. And I guess you do need to build the buildings for it, but it should also be kind of on the map. Especially arrows and stuff like that. I can see us running out of gunpowder earlier, but anyway, really, really fun fight. I really enjoyed that. I can't wait to see more. And all we got was that lousy ruby ring of ruin. Anyway, those poor Kurgan, that was doomed to end in failure for them. 5 levels on you, good. He will have some levels on him before we start his Terracotta army. I really like that. We can get about 3,000 gold for ourselves, and considering we didn't take all that much damage, I think that works out nicely. The Iron Hail Gunners did very, very well. 42k, 51k, 64k, 49k, 10k, and by and large did significantly better than the Celestial Dragon crossbows, and about even with the Jade crossbows as well in some cases, but better than the others. Well done to the Iron Hail. Lovely. And well, I think we only had 2 units of Nan Gau Grenadiers up on top of the walls because I was expecting them to fire at enemies once they blobbed up there, but they never managed to do it. But the one that was up there did get plenty of kills and damage. Anyway, I'll take the money. I assume that there will be another attack. Indeed there will, but just the one army, huh? Not much. But we don't have the second stack here. Still, worth fighting. I mean, we'll only have these massive assaults on the Bastion every, I don't know, probably every 5 episodes or so, so we may as well enjoy them. Lots of mammoths in this one. Mammoths and skinwolves. We'll still fight it. Go.
Judgment goes far beyond this world. So fight for them and for Cathay.
Alrighty, here we go. That speech was a little quiet because I wanted to see the units run towards the walls. Only the 1 stack this time instead of the 3, however, and that means a lot less critical mass of units to be able to annoy us. Once again, I'm not controlling our units because I don't trust the game not to replay. If I was controlling the units, I would have told all of our gunners and crossbows to bring down the mammoths in particular before they were able to get to the gates. They are essentially living battering rams after all. It does look like both of the mammoths will reach those places, although ooh, that's a nice pile of grenades, and you don't want to be up on that howdah with hundreds of grenades dropping down upon you. Oh, so it looks like the grenadiers that are over here that fire down from the gate are in a pretty good position. Okay, I gotta remember that. Position grenadiers on top of the gates rather than on the side near the towers where the crenellations can essentially screw you over as the grenades smash into the merlins and then explode. Anyway, bounce power, about 80% in our favor. The enemy's having a really bad time. Actually, one of the mammoths failed to reach the gate, and by the looks of it will fall over on this side of the bastion. Beautiful. Few more units are moving in. Some poor doggos running around, of course suppressed and thus very, very slow. There we go. Absolutely brutal. Bounce power 90% in our favor now. The enemy lord and one of the enemy mammoths still working at our gates, and same with the skin wolves, but even if they should make their way inside, I'm not sure that they'll achieve anything. Otherwise, we got, let's see, a unit of marauder hunters here, who are attempting to make their way up on top of the wall with the ladders, and here they'll actually be fighting Iron Hail Gunners in melee, which is probably going to be a lot more dangerous than, or a lot less dangerous rather, than when they were fighting the Celestial Dragon crossbows in the previous battle. But we do still have towers supporting us, so fire rain rockets will come down upon them, and these guys are shaken and tired from climbing up those walls. And we can still get the occasional shotgun blast to the face and when these guys fight in melee, so they should still be okay. Plus, we can also move the sky lanterns out and fire into the backs of these units, slash the sides, even as they climb, which is another interesting use potentially of the lanterns and the sky junks. I wonder if they can fire upon units while they climb the ladders or only when they're down below. Oh, wow, that looked pretty bad for that guy. Yeah, I'm not seeing any bullets come into the enemies that are climbing, interestingly. Okay. Fair enough, and now the enemy lord is attacking the gate as well. Well, we can simply once again position the sky lanterns behind him and obliterate him, but otherwise probably not super interesting. Oh, there is an enemy mammoth with war shrine that did manage to break through. Once again, the caveat of getting this to be a cinematic battle is not controlling our units and just allowing them to fight in the position that they're in. But it's working out reasonably well for us. And it looks like with that, the enemy War Mammoth will shatter, the enemy Lord will shatter as well, and will probably die as he attempts to escape the Bastion. There we go. And I think that was that all the stacks? Was it 5 or 4? I guess we're about to find out, but they certainly won't be breaching the Bastion today. Alright, very nice, and that went about as well for the enemy as we expected it, considering it was only the 1 stack rather than the 3 previously. Very nice. What do we have here? Another caravan thing. And Disciples of the Maw this time, eh? Huh. I mean, I suppose if the Empire... I was about to say if the Empire falls, that wouldn't be so great for us. We could get the diplomatic relations with them, or we could just fight it. I think this caravan still has like 6 or 7 turns left in its journey though, so I feel like maybe it's better to sacrifice the cargo. Once again, we can certainly win this, but the amount of damage we take will probably not be worth it, so I think we'll just pay up. All good. Alright, trait gained. Jiao Ming, campaign movement range for armies, or for Lord's army. Good. Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle. There's that ruby ring of ruin, which will turn into something else. Settlement besieged. Oh, this. How to resolve this for not gonna... Well... I mean, it's mostly basic marauders. We have a much better army. It's just a basic rebel force. A little bit tempted to fight it, but... I don't think it's a good enough army for us to be bothering with it right now. Enemy killed in battle, there we go. And another settlement besieged, and I thought there was 2 settlements besieged. Okay, wait. You need to kill off this army. The military crackdown should help. Oh, assuming that this will actually let us auto-resolve it. Chelonian stance is good. Journey complete. Scout. Ooh, yes. Hey, look who we found. Minus 41. And he's got 5 settlements, so he's not doing horribly, but he's also not doing amazingly. Let us keep an eye out on him. And, okay, I see why he's not doing amazingly. He's got his main stack and a second full stack and 2 half stacks all around the Isle of Crimson Skull. Now, our scout will be of great value here. We're going to send him directly to Lothern, or, well, to Ulthuan in general, but to start trade with, wow, those high elves that still remain alive. Looks like the outer portion of the donut is in very bad shape. All of this has been taken over by Slaneshi and by vampires. I still cheer for the vampires a little bit, but even in this situation, we really wanted the trade agreements with those guys, eh? Well, it is what it is. Anyway, we've got 2... I guess we'll do the construction cost -5. The time reduction for the province capital settlement buildings will also be good for our landmark shortly. And we do want to get to the bonus Astromancer capacity as fast as possible as well. Alright, our money actually dropped after that turn, which is kind of interesting and unexpected. Did we have another location that was besieged, or am I crazy? Let me just see here. Let's see, where's World Events? Settlement besieged. Yeah, that would... Maybe I guess it was only the one. Enemy siege lifted. Oh, it was probably the enemy siege lifted thing that I saw and not something else. Alright, that's fine. What is this? Those are caravans. Okay, the you again has nearly reached his location with 1 turn left, and then, yeah, you got 5 more turns. This is the one that we would have fought, and frankly, we would have taken a lot of damage doing so, as this army was already damaged. Yeah, that's good. Hey, and this army is back, not leveled as well as I'd like it to be, but still good. Does mean that we'll get a decent influx of money next turn. Oh, I see why our income dropped. It's because we were at below 10 before, and below 10 meant that we had the upkeep reduction faction-wide, which we no longer have. Fair enough. Anyway, Zhu Zhao, you are going this way. Disharmony dealer, we're leaving the lizards alone. Let them I'll let them fight. Or, oh. You know what I should have probably done? I should have had you chase down Lakshi. That's interesting. Why would you name a beastman after the Wind of Fire? Go figure. I mean, it's probably gonna take you a while. Maybe we'll just use Miao Ying to do it. Although, how fast would she... It'll still take her a while to get up there. You know what? She can actually defeat, like, a bunch of the undead armies at the same time, whereas I fear Zhu Zhao cannot. Plus, she'll probably have a little bit more fun fighting these guys, so I think we'll send her that way. And should we send one of these to follow Zhu Zhao around, or should they both follow Miao Ying? That remains to be seen. Oh, also, you don't need these items, and while we're looking at items, let's take a look at if there's anything we can fuse. Fuse you too, most definitely. Icon of the Spirit Dragon, summon free ancestral warriors. Yes, please, we'll take it. Gambler's Armor, Lucky Arrow. I don't really care for the Lucky Arrows. I guess we can combine it with the Potion of... Oh, wait, that now. Combine the Ruby Ring of Ruin with the Potion of Speed, like so. And another Forest Cloak. I don't care for the Forest Cloaks, to be perfectly honest. I just said that for the other thing, I know. I do care for the Celestial Silk Robe very much, however. We're starting to get some good items, which is going to be good once our armies are up and running. I swear we had another one of these things. Where did the Silver Moon Bow come from? Another Forest Cloak, yes. Fuse those into Cloak of Pomei. Enabled if out of melee, affects allies in range, power recharge plus 60%. I like it. I like it a lot. And it'll work for various casters nicely. Anyway, assuming that you are going to land here, which you can't do right now. Can we actually leave? Watch this guy move immediately to Shiwu and attack it. Not if he does, he does. Miao Ying, you're going through Li Temple. Yeah, you're going through Li Temple. Let's go like this. And I guess we'll just still send both of these to follow. We do still have to take Miao Ying's Jade Warriors away, though one of them will probably just turn into a drum. Promote them, never having to fight in those ranks of theirs again. I like the idea. And Miao Ying, oh wait, stop moving. Take one of the Jade Warriors, one of the low-ranking ones, and then you can enter the army.
Grand Cathay, you have much to learn.
Alright, now we have room for 2 more units. One will be a drum, which will be you, and then we'll have room for 1 more, which will be probably another crane gunner. And once again, since we're using them in place of artillery in this army, it feels like the most sensible thing to do. And I do want 2 drums, because this one basically has to permanently be on magical damage, and not the other thing. Yeah, you guys just sort of stay together right now. I guess you can both of the Jade Dragon Warriors, or Jade Warriors rather, can be in one army. We do want to immediately build the Obsidian Quarry here. It isn't growth, but it's still nice. We'll also upgrade the village here. Just gotta make sure that we can upgrade this village and Li Temple itself up as fast as possible. Lovely. And I guess we'll just stay in the Jade Dragon's Edict. And just until the control is fixed. And speaking of control, since we no longer have the Confederation debuff, let's see how we're looking here. Oh, this is this place. 379, probably not worth it right now. And the Maw Gate will be no, it will not be traded away. We're keeping the Maw Gate for ourselves. Speaking of, Zhao Meng, you're gonna hit Amble Peak with a quick little auto-resolve. We'll probably have to have another army recruit his, well, the replacement forces that he needs for him, because he's going to keep moving this way. And you can go for the tea parlor first and don't collect the income here. Oh, actually, don't bother with that, because Amble Peak will be traded to the ogres for money and whatever we can get. Speaking of the ogres, we've got a few defenders here. This guy is moving in. We could probably just fight it. The only issue is that they have a ton of melee and we have no melee. But it might be fun. And I do like fun. Let's get you... You're in sure aim, which I guess does help the Jade Warrior crossbows, and it does make sense with farsighted. Sure. Ningwei can probably command another ranged army, though I once again feel like this is still probably inferior to a version of a ranged army that uses the magical attacks or magical damage for everybody. We're gonna fight with you in a second. I want to see what's going on everywhere else first. First of all, you, sir. Assuming that we have nothing critical to upgrade here, which we don't, and I do mean critical, you're gonna move to Dragon Gate. You will wipe out the remnants of the Silkurgan force. It'll mean that you have to trespass, but it's free XP. And die. And then Potion of Foolhardiness and take the money. And then return to Dragon Gate. We'll have somebody else command this army. And then you're going to do the same thing here. I assume that you can auto-resolve, or at least I hope that you can. Oh, I gotta pay attention to the fact that Village is here, but, well, good luck breaching the Bastion, sir. Auto-resolve. And that should be the last of the Kurgan Warband for now. Yes, they're destroyed. Beautiful. And yeah, we're not turning back the compass. I want those guys to come again. Slaneshi giggle. And enjoy them. Also, before I forget, you should kill Booger. And Pyrrhic Victory. Ooh. Issue. Can we... Yeah, I think we'll have to fight this. It's gonna be a kind of silly fight, but... I don't know, well, I'll preemptively sort of fight it cinematically, or... Yeah, we'll just fight it cinematically, but if it's too long, I'll just speed through it, as obviously it takes a long time for the Sky Lanterns to fight. Generally speaking, we just need a few more sort of units in this army, so it can actually auto-resolve stuff. The thing is, we've already seen this army fight a bunch of times with just the Sky Lanterns, and now I want the other units, the Moonbirds and the other stuff in it, and the Sky Junks, so that it's in its proper form, rather than just repeating sort of battles with the same army. You know what I mean? I know what I mean. And that's what matters. But not really. Go.
Remember your training! Trust in the dragons! The victory shall be certain!
Alrighty, here we go. Only a few... Oh, I love this lighting every time. Every time I see this map. What was I saying? I don't know. The lighting distracted me. We are moving forward with our cavalry just to sort of escort our alchemist so that she can cast the Gehenna's Golden Hounds at some of the enemy Nobblers. The Nobblers aren't going to be a particularly threatening enemy to face off, so we should be able to play around with all of our units this time, or rather than just waiting for the Sky Lanterns to do most of the work from up above. Oh, as I was saying at the start of the battle, we just need a few more levels before we get our Lord a Sky Lantern. And that should be pretty fun, as it will also be able to apply more buffs to the enemy, or to the army. Otherwise, the Crowmen have found two isolated units of Nobblers over on the right flank, and will tear through them very rapidly, while the rest of the Crowmen hover above, waiting for their opportune moment to strike. Lovely. Now those two units, I believe, are going to flee. The Crowmen will give chase to them. We also do have two of the Celestial Lions that are here. We were keeping them around together with the Sky Lanterns, simply because they provide the harmony of Yang, because all the other units are Yin here. But that's okay. We'd rather use the Celestial Lions to help, especially considering they have that fearsome roar ability to reduce enemy leadership, which against the Nobblers should be very, very effective. Either way, we've seen the Lanterns fight many a time, but not as much, or not nearly as much the Lions or the Crowmen, so let's watch them tear through those poor Nobblers. And there we go, fearsome roar, making these guys have a bad day. About 4 units of our Crowmen have also peeled away to make sure that those units that are running do not come back. Alright, Lion is just menacing them. There we go, and coming down, getting another roar going. And here come the Jade Lancers as well. Gotta remember, we are still trying to level these guys up. It's gonna take a while to get them to become a Jade Longma, or Great Longma rather. And so they're definitely going to have to try to fight to acquire that XP. Fortunately, they're fast enough to get away from most things, and I suppose even if the enemy army had things like, I don't know, Chaos Knights or something, we would have been able to kill them off with the Lanterns, slowly but surely, and then move the Jade Lancers. And oh, I love the sight of the Crowmen sort of flying through the ranks, as it were, or the flotilla of Sky Lanterns up above. Pretty darn nice. Sky Lanterns doing pretty good work as well, firing in all directions as they do, while trying to focus down the enemy Tyrant, who's also down to about half, a little bit lower, of his HP. The enemy army pretty much destroyed, though this was exactly as expected, as it's not like this is Village's army that had a lot of tough units. But at least this way we got to play around with the Crowmen and the Celestial Lions actually moving into the melee, and rather early at that. Tyrant will only take a few more hits as the lanterns bring him down. They're up to 110 missile strength now, so their missile strength is rising. The lanterns are getting stronger. I'm still very excited to see how strong they will be by the end of the campaign, especially with all the techs that should presumably upgrade them. And their speed is at 40 now, which is pretty darn solid. I think we got at least one more speed upgrade that we can give them, unless I'm mistaken. I'm just kind of imagining the Sky Lantern zipping around with like 100 speed, moving as fast as the fastest flyers zipping around the map. It would be pretty entertaining. I don't think it's possible, but it would be pretty entertaining. When we put our Lord on the Sky Lantern, I wonder, I did stack a lot of speed on Grease's Goldtooth last time I played him and basically made him into a chariot, which was amazing. I wonder if we can give the Banner of Swiftness and a bunch of other potential speed upgrades. I think there's at least one item that, or maybe two items that give speed upgrades. Put them all on the Lord with a Lantern. See how fast we can make a move, just because we can. Anyway, either way with that, the battle is ours, the enemy shatters, and, well, our Crowman will pretty much chase, I don't know, 95% of the enemy down. Pretty darn good. Alright, do we get a second icon of the Spirit Dragon? That's actually quite nice, I wonder which army we can put them in. If we keep getting these, we could get like 4 of them at once, and ideally, and then have a bunch of Spirit Summons. Frankly, they might work very nicely with Miao Ying, because she is a range army, and being able to emergency summon Ancestral Warriors would be quite nice. Anyway, that was also quite a nice fight for Long Yuan Chao and his lanterns, which once again did pretty solid damage. The Jade Lancers are slowly but surely leveling up to become Longma, and hopefully the Astromancer will get his Moonbird eventually. Kill this. We should have a military crackdown and stuff in this territory now, so the public order won't be horrendous. Talisman of Endurance, damn, you're finding some good stuff, sir. Venerate, heal up to full, because the healing here is kind of trash. And yeah, don't bother with the Ancestral Warriors or the Talisman of Endurance. Also, you're level 8, are you not? Meaning, you... it's level 10. Oh, so close. We'll keep holding on to the points until we get this up and running, but just need a little bit more in the way of levels. Maybe we'll raid or sack or something, some territory up here. Lovely. All right, there was another fight that I was thinking that we should fight manually. This one, or fight just generally, not necessarily manually. And was that it? Am I okay, you know what, let's look at things in order, because I've lost track of who is where. And oh, actually, you know what, you, sir, go into encamp stance. I was gonna build some stuff, but let's see, we could wait for 2 turns, or we could start recruiting these guys. They take 2 turns to build anyway. I assume that nothing in the Bastion... Construction time, unit experience gain, casualty punishment rate. Let's switch to XP. You know what, let's start building the Terracotta automatons. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna take a while anyway, so may as well. You can sit here, but you can also recruit some basic... Oh, do you not have the recruitment reduction? You do. Just that it's tier 3. But still, build some peasants. There we go. They're not going to be crazy expensive, and we want full stack available for turning into other units as we train them up. What do you guys think? Do we just get like elite units here, or do we just keep this happening and slowly level these armies up to higher levels? I kind of like that idea as well. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Training in the Bastion is a pretty nice concept as well. You should probably also build some peasants, and they are still cheap, so 1, 2, 3, start with those. And you can build war drums here, which would be nice as well, as every single one of these armies will need war drums. Administrator, Tian Tian. I'm still annoyed that the administrators can't level, it seems. So we got him on field, and then he basically does nothing because of that. Yeah, he is providing +3 public order here, I guess, but is it worth 134 gold per turn? That I'm not so sure about. You were here to build some drums, but frankly, it might not actually be necessary here. We have the ability to build them out of Turtle Gate now, including artillery, so this might be a waste. We don't necessarily need the Celestial Tower here unless we want to build a Yeah, this doesn't actually provide any kind of capacity for us, does it? And it wouldn't be in this territory anyway, so I think you're fine. And you will provide how much public order right now? Characters 1, just the one, eh? Might not be worth it immediately either. You know what, we'll reset you. We might use you elsewhere. And if we can or need to build some stuff with you, then we'll do so later. Alright, no need to waste money on you. Next, who still has to move? Okay, not the relatively useless administrator. And then why we'll have you attack. Scryer of fates, etc. Let's scry some more fates. We like that sort of thing. Steel Tech. You're moving southward to join the other army, as in the Jade Warrior army. You will Steel Tech. Success, success, and you should have reached to the next Textiles location. With Balthazar Gelt, but, you know. Oh, actually, that's next turn. Oh, he's gonna take this just before we get there. That's so rude. Oh, he has Ulrika as well. Good for him. How's our relationship, rather? Still pretty okay. I'm gonna hope that these guys don't declare war on us. Maybe if we can get a trade agreement or something going with them. Might be nice to have some of the malevolent tree spirits with us. We also have trade agreements available. Defenders of the Great Plan now available for trade. Draco's reasonably happy about us, but doesn't like the Ice Court stuff. We'll leave the Jade Court to last, because we're looking to confederate them. For now, I think we'll trade with the Defenders of the Great Plan, keep them friendly. There we go. I'm hoping that Nakai can be revived using them. I'm not entirely sure that he can, but we'll see. And let's keep our relationship with Yuanbo rising, so we'll get the agreements going with him. Besides, he'll provide us some value in terms of the trade. None of these agreements for now. And I forget, did the Caravan complete its route? No, one turn, okay. Gotta make sure that none of the Caravan Lords accidentally get any of our important items. The rest of this... Who are you? You are the new Astromancer. Yes, yes, with the Architect trait. Although I just want to double check. Well, what other traits do we have available? Ah, there's that Defender trait. Now we just need the capacity so that we can give said Defender to the Flying Army, because we want 2 Astromancers. And also makes sense for the Lore of Heavens to be the lore of choice for the Flyers. Also, wait. We're now in Taitsu. Should I have built something here? Oh, we could have reduced the cost of Kunlun. You know what? It's only a tiny bit of movement. You're gonna go back here, and we'll reduce the upgrade cost of Kunlun by 10%. It's not much, but it's worth it, I think. Alright. Anybody else? Who are you? Oh, you're the fiery, celestial whatever. Or just defender. Not so celestial. Or are you celestial? No, you are celestial. Okay. You can go into this army for now with the rest of the Terracotta units. Like so. And frankly, we should probably upgrade this. It will increase capacity for automatons, but more importantly, it'll increase capacity for... Oh, I wish it wasn't 5k. Astromancers. Actually, speaking of, what else can we build here? Another Gate Master. Righteous bolsters defense. Bolstered attack for accompanying Lord. Hello. These lords have bolstered defense themselves. No, wait. They have bolstered armor. Wait, am I wrong? I just saw the icon and I thought that that meant that they had the same thing. But if they don't have bolstered defense, then actually we should have you. Yeah, I don't see bolstered defense here. Whoops. Okay, well, I was going to do 3 of those guys anyway, so that actually works reasonably well. It was bolstered armor, not bolstered defense. Well, darn. But also that's good, because it'll mean more stacking stuff. And we like stacking stuff. Alright, so we'll start with this guy, the righteous guy for bolstered defense. It would be nice if they had the bolstered attack and defense on themselves and the Lord, not just themselves, but it'll still work. Double up with those, unless we've got a good teacher available to us. Nope, still swift and baleful. Alright, we'll need more capacity of those guys as well, but for now, righteous and lieutenant. Beautiful. And those will be your 3 Celestial Defenders. Hi, I heard you say Celestial General, not Celestial Defender. Why are you lying? Lying about your rank doesn't seem like a good idea. Anyway, you are gonna fight this. Should be a nice little fight, I think. Should we give her any points? Nah, I think she'll be fine. Or I hope she'll be fine. That's gonna be a problem. Let's hope that the lions can take care of the Kadai. As otherwise it will definitely be a major problem. Go.
better trained, we are better equipped, we are more dutiful. Victory is inevitable!
Alrighty, fair enough. Well, I don't know about better trained, as the dwarfs, Chaos Dwarfs, generally live quite a bit longer than humans do. I don't know about better equipped, because the Chaos Dwarfs have some pretty decent technology, but I'd be willing to bet that we're more dutiful, as the Chaos Dwarfs aren't the friendliest bunch, and may potentially betray each other and all that. But anyway, here we go. Big old pile of enemies heading towards us, and this is a minor battle. We have not a full stack, and we will have to be careful here, especially if the enemy blunderbusses, and especially because the enemy's blob will inevitably reach us, since we only have the one melee unit to rely upon, a single unit of Jade Warriors. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off with the enemy moving towards us specifically, foolishly perhaps, maybe no perhaps about it. The enemy Overseer will rush us, and will take hits from all three, or 3 out of the 4 Jade crossbows, rapidly losing their HP. That Great Taurus is a big old target, and the enemy will fall from the sky. Probably should have waited to move on in until we were focus firing other things, like for example the blunderbusses, which are going to be a lot more threatening and are thus going to be the targets of all 4 of our units of crossbows, at least for now. Unfortunately for us, they've got shields up, and they're not going to take a lot of damage. Between their shields, silver shields at that, and 72 armor, and the fact that the Jade crossbows don't have a lot of armor piercing, these guys are not taking a lot of damage at all. Just watching their HP drop. Yeah, looks like they're going to be able to weather the storm in a way that the enemy lord very much did not, and so we're going to have to deal with them in other ways. So our Shugingen moves forward to cast Storm of Shadows upon one unit of blunderbusses, slowing them down by 40 and reducing their range as well. The other one is our target, as we will fly the lion in, which does take a few shots and loses about 30% of its HP, but touches down and drops the enemy. Blobs of units of laborers are now moving in, but the Grenadiers are a perfect unit to have against these blobs of cheap, fragile, nearly armorless or completely armorless units. There we go. This is what the Grenadiers are for. But frankly, they've been absolute stars in this entire campaign. And also, frankly, I've been very impressed with the Sky Lanterns throughout this campaign. Even in the armies where we've just had the one Sky Lantern rather than many, they have been consistently racking up a ton of kills, and or a ton of damage, maybe perhaps, rather than the kills. But considering their cost, which is pretty darn cheap considering they're a support unit, which provides a very nice aura of 20 accuracy and 10 missile resistance to pretty much your entire army, as it's a big aura, and they also apply shield breaker, and they also still manage to do good sniping and damage. I'm pretty darn happy with them. Never thought I'd say that about Sky Lanterns. Anyway, finally the enemy summons their Kadai Fireborn on the field on top of a unit of Onyx Crowmen, which were chasing a unit of Blunderbusses. The Kadai tear through the Crowmen very, very quickly, those twin axes of theirs, and destroying the very fragile elementals, and giving chase to them. They're down to about 90% of their HP, though fortunately it looks like elemental instability doesn't quite activate. We're going to try to back off and try to keep them alive, and even countercharge the Kadai to try to save the last few of the Onyx Crowmen. Granted, it's not a big deal if we actually lose them, but, you know, principle of the thing, and I'd prefer not. Anyway, our Lord has charged in and dropped the Storm of Shadows upon the enemy, and she tries to escape, but unfortunately immediately gets surrounded and trapped by the Kadai, which is not so great, as she also loses about a quarter of her HP. We're going to have to back off. Here comes the lions, our lion, and the crossbows will all go after the Kadai. Lion has charged in, or lions have charged in, and allowed our Shugingen to escape, and then we can simply let the enemy melt away, though it was a close one. Anyway, Nan Gau Grenadiers now in 3 of them, I think, focusing down 1 unit of Chaos Dwarf Warriors. But here is a good example of just how much value fire resistance is together with armor, as all 3 volleys only do about 30% of their HP. And we've seen things like fire glaives have 60% fire resistance, so that really wouldn't be effective against them, but fortunately the Chaos Dwarf Warriors are made of less stern stuff. Though I imagine those hats could double very nicely if they could just catch those grenades in them. depending on how well the hats are made. Put the Chaos Dwarfen hat craftsmanship to the test. Alright, and it looks like that unit is destroyed and the last of the units are done for as well, as we do manage to pull this battle off. Certainly a bit of damage. The Crowmen do survive, if only just barely, but I am certainly happy with the result. Nice fight. Alright, there we are. Tormentor Sword, nice pickup as well for any of the ranged armies. In fact, it would be nice to get a fair few more of those. Good use of the Kadai Fireborn summon from the AI, which severely damaged the Onyx Crowman, and then later the Lord as well. In fact, it nearly destroyed the Onyx Crowman without taking any real damage itself, so good job to the summon. I think we'll take the 20k for this, although we will need to auto-resolve the remnants, and I'm a little bit worried about the Crowman. Well, let's hope that they don't die. Well, frankly, I mean, we don't really necessarily need to keep these guys around either, so there is that. Anyway, mission successful. Oh, right, we even had a mission for that. Thank you, Goldtooth. That'll be nice for Jiao Ming. Not to trade settlement, or at least not yet. We don't have more missions. We're at 58 income, eh? Wonder how soon we'll be able to build some nice lead belchers. Also gotta watch out for the Greenskins declaring war on Goldtooth. In fact, they're not at war with anybody. Join war against the Legion of Asgore. 60. Okay, they don't want to do that. What about Puppets of Misrule? They don't want to do that either. Oh, that's not good. Somebody is going to ask them to join war against us, and they'll say yes, because the AI likes to do that. I guess another option would be to try to declare war on Zatan and then get these guys to join, but I fear that, just like the Legion of Asgore, who they are sharing a border with, they wouldn't want to fight them. Which is surprising, because the Legion of Asgore is down to rank 73. Warhost of Jar is much stronger. Still, might be something we might want to attempt. I don't know. Would be more potential attacks on the Bastion, which wouldn't be too bad. And they don't like us very much for, well, a bunch of things that they remember. They do like us for annoying the Kurgan, but yeah, we'll be fighting or continuing to fight Village and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, what was I doing around it to make sure that this little army dies for good? And it won't kill the Crowman. Beautiful. Alright, and another Serene Cloud Prayer Flag. Ugh, we keep getting these, and I'm so not enthused by them. This time we can heal up. Alrighty, and you can keep that, because I don't care. You can then go into March Stance and move back to the Vale of Titans, or towards it at least. And I suppose we can still make enough use of this army to maybe grab Grimtop, instead of having Jiao Ming go back there. I'd rather he go from Greece's Great Hall to Caravan and then back towards the Sentinels. Not that we really care so much about this territory, but I fear that the Legion of Asgore will continue annoying us until we deal with it. Anyway, folks, I think with that we are out of time, and I'm going to have to call the episode here. There is not too much left to do in this particular turn other than potentially admin, although ending the turn might be interesting. I do feel like we should build some stuff then. Alright, let's do it real quick. Just in case, just to see if anything interesting sets itself up for next turn. We do need to upgrade Wei Jin, but I did want to get the administrator there to help. And he has the recruitment cost reduction, so he's here. Frankly, I mean, his reductions aren't all that much. I think they're by 5% or something, so maybe it's not even worth waiting for him. Oh, actually, Wei Jin's nearly to tier 4, so I think we'll leave that. I guess we could get the Goods Emporium and stuff up and running, because the public order here is looking to be pretty okay now. Let's do these, including the growth, and there are several other locations where we probably want to prioritize, like here. But I guess we can't do that right now. Anywhere else there, we absolutely need to build stuff, so we'll leave that at that. Let's upgrade the Contemplation Gardens here and there, and you're currently in Harmony, eh? I guess we can switch out of Harmony to the Yen, right? We will lose a little bit of control, but we can build some control buildings and that'll fix it as well. Alright, so do that here. I was contemplating building some more capacities, as in hero capacities there, which is still a possibility. But for now, start building markets everywhere. Since our control is fixed, at least until we can federate yet again. I go for the tea parlor here, and I'll keep not upgrading that. Yeah, I wanted to build a bunch of the Alchemist's Tower here because even the base tier gives us an additional Gate Master and an additional Alchemist, which does feel quite worth it. Yeah, build it here. It's not bad. Although Shangyang does generate a fair bit of money, so it should be a money-making territory as well. But, well, if we need to delete that thing later, we will delete it later. Let's build up the gem factors and the contemplation gardens. We will upgrade you, village, and then lastly we'll build the salt here, and that's pretty much all the money we have, enabling us to skip, and end the turn. Alrighty, beautiful. And now we can see if anything interesting happens, and that's one more turn forward towards getting the Terracotta automatons up and running. Anyway, military alliance and payments. We will do this, but not yet. I mean, at this point, he's probably going to be too scared to declare war on anybody. However, some AIs are kind of maniacs, Durthu, and will just randomly declare war on a bunch of factions, including your own allies, Durthu, and I don't want to... I don't want to risk that. Anyway, it looks like a village is still moving around, which means he's not jumping over to the other side and menacing the flying army again. And there we go. What is this? Treasury minus 500. Caravan moves an additional node, so we save a turn and lose 500 gold. Do we... Is that worth it? We get about 4,000 gold for the thing, right? On the other hand, it'll finish up the route faster, and it is a weaker look. Yeah, fine, just do it. Go for it. And move an additional node if you like. Alrighty, and Seafarer, ready for duty. Another standard of Wei Jin, I think that's our third. Caravan completed, you again, very nice, and that's 6.5k, which was much needed, and hello. Somebody pointed out, yeah, we get the explosive missile damage and explosion radius bonus out of this experimental explosive, go figure. I wonder if that has to be on the Lord, because this does feel like it would work nicely with the fire rain rockets in Jiao Ming's army. On the other hand, what we could do is we could get Empire Outriders with grenades, combine them with Nan Gau Grenadiers and fire rain rockets, and just make a straight-up explosive army for another army, which would also be good. Either way, we can't have you keeping that experimental thing. You got a Hellstorm rocket battery. Ooh, we should go to Nuln again. That's nice. And another, whoa, an unusual location in Lee Temple after getting an unusual location. Assassin's Hideout. Ambush defense chance, recruit rank +3 for local province. All region owner armies ambush defense chance. It's not horrible. I hope this isn't... No, it's Imperial Assassins. I got a little bit concerned there for a second that it would be Skaven Assassins and it would suddenly spawn a bunch of Skaven armies. Still, nice. I like it. I can't believe I'm getting unusual locations now. It feels so weird. After... I don't know, like a year of not getting a single one ever since they came out. Only these two recent campaigns have gotten us some. Anyway, folks, we're out of time. I'm calling it here next time. We have two things to do. Miao Ying will begin her war against the Jiangxi rebels, and all of this lovely territory must become ours. And we will hopefully shore up all of Cathay, at least that we are not allowing the Golden Order to hold on to for now. And if we can, depending on how many fights we have to get into with the Legion of Asgore, we are going to do that thing where we did in the sort of mid game, where we were able to get a few turns going forward, just to try to invest in our economy, build up, etc., etc. Plus, we're in the process of recruiting our Terracotta automaton army, or just generally our automaton army, which should be pretty fun. Can't wait to see it, and the Celestial Defenders that are with it in action. Lovely. Anyway, stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. If you're into that sort of thing, all glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.
No kingdom compares